The biggest concern of homeless people right now is the effect that this opioid epidemic, and actually the whole epidemic of addictions, which I think you're completely right to say, because we're learning that maybe the opioid part of the epidemic is the most deadly, but there's also a big issue underneath that, driven of course by the desperation most people living in their lives that have been really, we have one man who recently was placed into housing, and there's some of these fabulous now programs getting people from the streets and the shelters who've been there forever into housing, where you can at least have a platform now to take care of folks. But when he got there, one of the things he tried to do was get sober. And I remember going to visit him, and he had just started drinking again, and he was explaining to me that, you know what, Doc, he said, I got sober, but then I realized that after 30 years on the street and sitting in the studio apartment, I have no life. And he said, I was much happier when I got high. And you realize that's where we have to jump in now. How do you make a life for someone? How do you support them once we get them to that spot? And I think that's what the next wave of the epidemic will be trying to address, and is already beginning to address.